if the final version of the Altars is even close to as enjoyable as the first 2 hours of what I have experienced, and they fix some of the issues players have been encountering, then this will, in my opinion, be a game that many people are going to enjoy, thanks to the unique and also emotionally captivating cloning aspect. But starting from the beginning and straight to the point, we are playing as Jan Dolsky and crash land on this alien planet. Not only do we learn that we need to protect ourselves from radiation, but our entire crew is deceased. Shortly after learning the bad news, we at least get some hope by finding this massive mobile base that's going to protect us for now. However, only if it is operated by skilled engineers, and that's certainly not us. The next bad news follows shortly after this. The planet is surrounded by a deadly scorching star, and the sunrise will be our end. Not even our mobile base will be able to protect us once the deadly rays of the sun are coming out. Because of that, we and our base need to be moving constantly. And that's of course easier said than done. Since this is a survival game, we will be tasked by gathering our first resources, so we can get at least some parts of this base functional. Once we have enough resources, we can build our first base extension, the workshop, which is pretty much what we know as a crafting or workbench. To make resource gathering easier, we can construct these mining outposts that also serve as fast travel points. Now, I have to say I was a bit let down by the exploration aspect. Not because the world isn't worth exploring, but because currently there are quite a few invisible walls, even at spots where you really would expect to be able to just normally walk through. Even more interesting, there's no jumping in this game, so at certain spots you have to go around, which feels pretty restricted. Because Jan's energy is very limited, we have to call it a day and sleep so we can regenerate that energy. And now is where it gets really interesting. Not too far into the game, we discover a material called Rapidium, which, after having a rather lengthy conversation with a mysterious voice in the communications room, we learn can be used to clone ourselves, or as the game calls it, create altars.
Wait, I recognize this. It's my life.
The first altar didn't exactly turn out as we expected, but soon enough it will work out. Now that it's getting serious, we are introduced to Jan's timeline, which is incredibly interesting to read through. All his major life stories and decisions are written down here, and you can read through every single one of them. How cloning works is we select a certain event or decision and choose a different path for the new version of him. This will result in a drastically different outcome of his life path. The first clone will always be a technician, because this is necessary to progress in the game. But after that we have more freedom when it comes to the different alterations to his timeline. It's important to note that we will always control the original Jan. The other Jans can, thanks to their vastly different knowledge, help us get this mobile base going and ultimately escape this planet. Speaking of controlling Jan, the movement in the base needs some work and feels clunky. The sprinting speed is definitely too unpredictable. Some of the animations could use some work too. Now, these clones are not emotionless beings. They have their own goals, feelings and personalities. For example, the technician Jan is very frustrated when we wake him up and try to explain to him that he only exists because we created him so he can help us.
Time to get a grip, man. We need to fix the comms room so we can make it out of here faster. Are you deaf? I don't give a damn about your comms room. We're moving.
And it's at this point that it becomes absolutely clear that managing all these relationships and sometimes make difficult but necessary decisions is absolutely the heart of the game. And also its strongest selling point. All these different Jans led a completely different life than our Jan. And I can't wait to see more of these stories once we have the option to create more of them in the final game. In all honesty, even if the survival aspects are rather bare bones at the moment, and they appear to just be there so we can advance the storyline and move to the next chapter, I will still buy this because of how invested I am in Jan's life, and managing this small army of Jans is just a very unique experience. So if you're looking for a survival game with a big twist, then this is surely worth giving a shot. Let me know if this was helpful, and if it was, a like is very much appreciated.